So the video that I released on Sunday got a lot of comments from people wanting to know how I stacked the 3 images to come up with this final image. And the truth is, it's very simple. So I'm going to show you my workflow. You saw on Sunday how I took the photograph, how I composed it, and how I focus stacked the image. If you haven't seen that video, just click here and have a look. But basically in this video, I just want to very quickly show you how I processed the image, stacked the image, and came up with this final photograph. So this can be a short video, consider it a bonus video. I do read the comments and I do listen. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this and I'll show you how I edited the image. I should also say that I'm currently in a hotel room, as you can see, working on my laptop, so please forgive me if this isn't as smooth as you would like, but usually I'd like to do this on the big machine. So here we have my 3 images, raw files, unedited, all pretty much identical, but with slightly different shifts in focus. What you can actually see is the water level change between each image there, but I'm not too worried about that. So the first thing I'm going to do is basically I just need to edit one image. So I usually start off with exposure. It just looks a bit dark, so I'm going to bump it up to about half a stop, and it definitely needs a touch of contrast, so I'll just boost that up nicely. There we go. My editing usually consists of highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, that kind of thing, so I'm just going to go here, adjust the highlights, adjust the shadows, and adjust the blacks, just till I get a contrast and a tonal range that I'm happy with. I'm going to add a bit of clarity to this image as well. There's no light and there's not much going on, so by just introducing a bit of clarity, it's going to give the image a bit more grunt. You know, I want this to be dark and moody and detailed, and the clarity is certainly going to help with that. The image is also looking a little bit too cool for my liking, and I don't mean that in the good sense, so I'm just going to warm it up a touch here with the temperature. I do like a cool image, but this is a bit too blue. Oh, and before I forget also, I need to enable profile corrections because that lens is a bit warpy at 16mm. So I want the image to be dark and moody. I'm just going to reduce the saturation, get rid of all that blueness. There's no color in the scene, so we may as well actually get rid of it and create more of a mono image. I'm not going all the way to 0, just going to bring the saturation down just to give it that kind of Mordor feel, if you like. And now I'm just going to do a touch of sharpening. I usually like to do this on most of my images. I increase the sharpening and then I mask the image, which means the sharpness effect is only applied to the white areas. So areas with no detail don't get sharpness introduced, which can add noise and make the image look a bit gritty. So the sky's looking a bit bright. I'm just going to drop on a grad filter and just make that a bit darker. There we go, that looks quite good. Probably introduce a bit more clarity just to give more definition to those clouds. Remember, we have no gorgeous, beautiful light to work with here, so it's all about drama, mood, and grit. That's really the feeling that I am trying to get across. So I now pretty much just need to apply this to all 3 images, which is straightforward and dead simple. So I select all 3 images and I'm just going to sync them, so they should all be identical in their editing. Just make sure all the boxes here are selected so nothing gets missed. Click synchronize, bosh, done. All images are the same. I'm just going to quickly run through them and check. So yeah, they look good, but this image here, image number 3, this is the one where I focused on the stone, and that stone is a touch dark. It's amazing how quick the light changes. These are all only taken 5 seconds apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a smidgen of exposure, just because this rock is one of my main subjects and I really want this to stand out and pop. So there we go, that's about it. It's nice and subtle, not too much. And now I just need to open these 3 images in Photoshop. So the first thing I need to do is just go to Edit and Auto Align Layers. This will make sure that nothing's out of sync. Now watch what it does here. It's going to auto-align them and it's going to mess up the image, and you can see we've got edge in here. So you're going to want to crop that out. That's why I didn't crop in Lightroom. I always crop in Photoshop if I'm doing focus stacking. I love a 4:5 crop, so that's what I'm doing here. That's what I had in mind when composing this image. And then I'm just going to pull this down so that it doesn't, there we go, get rid of those edges. Perfect. Okay, so I can see here that this top image is the one that was focused to infinity or focused on the castle. and then the middle image will be the middle focus and the bottom image will be the near focus. So the first thing I need to do is add a layer mask. Dead easy, I'm just going to brush out the bottom half of the top layer, which is essentially the softest area of that first image. So I'm just going to make my brush nice and big, about 50% softness, and then I'm just going to mask it off, just get rid of all of that. Now don't worry, you can see here that there's going to be some weirdness around where the join is, but we just go in and just get rid of that with a fine tooth comb. So we make the brush smaller, go in tight and just tidy up the edges, make sure there's no blurring or anything like that. So I'm just scanning the image now, I'm just zoomed in, having a look for some strange, oh there we go, you can see there on the left hand side that it's really blurry. That's because the two images haven't quite aligned properly, so I just need to go in and tidy that up. And it's good practice when you focus stack to just zoom in to 100% or more. I'm at 140% here, and just double check everything. This image is a little bit more tricky than other images simply because of the randomness of the boulders, but yeah, I'll go through and I'll tidy this up, and it really isn't going to cause me any problems at all. So now that that's sorted, I'm going to go on to the second image, apply a layer mask and delete the areas of that image that I don't want. Now watch how much of a difference this makes to the images I painted away. You can see that was the rock that I focused on in the near foreground, and it is absolutely crispy, pin sharp. So now I just need to basically do what I did before, go around, tidy up the entire thing, brush out the bottom of that second image which reveals the lower image, which is the image I focused on at the near distance, and that's it. I just go around, very quickly check the edges, make sure there's no weirdness, and it all pretty much looks good. So essentially what I've done is I've taken three images, stacked them on top of each other, and I've stripped the soft areas of each image, revealing only the sharp parts of the image. And it really is straightforward. So I'm now going to save this image, open it again in Lightroom, and just make a couple, or really just one final adjustment which will finish the image off. So I've just rated that to 3 so I know which image it is. I know that's the one I've stacked. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to add a bit of vignetting, which is ironic because I said in the video that this polarizer doesn't vignette at 16mm, and you could see from that image that it didn't. But I'm actually adding this vignette in post just to finish off the nice, dark, moody feel. And there you have my image, and that's pretty much how I stacked it. So thank you for all of the comments and actually suggesting that I do this. It's actually quite nice to run through this and show my processing and my workflow. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tune in tomorrow to see why I'm here in this hotel and what the heck is going on. All right, bye for now.